Recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Thompson, I got a question for you. Can you tell me what minerals you use in your geothermal? A lot of iron.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yes, we do. Iron ore is, for the piping for our geothermal facilities is critical.
So I guess my question, and I'm coming back to you, is that how do you explore for geothermal?
Mr. Chairman, we need to go out and drill exploratory wells to determine if there is a geothermal resource at depth. What separates geothermal from other renewable developers is it's not just an above surface exercise. We can't put out an anemometer and know where the sun and the wind is going to blow. We have to go drill and, using geology, look for these unique areas where we have geothermal resources close to the Earth's crust.
So pretty prevalent, if I'm not mistaken, in Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, right, in the West?
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I think you said the magic word about the problem here, and that's called drilling. The similarity that each one of you have is drilling. We don't want to perforate that subsurface and that surface. I think that's what the biggest problem is here, because you of all the industries are the most renewable asset we've got. Now, Mr. Squatchy, I've got a dilemma here. Previous minority witness had said that recycling was robust in this country in regards to solar panels and critical and rare earths. You said otherwise. What gives?
Well, Congressman, thank you for the question. I do not think that we have a robust recycling program in this country. It may exist in some local communities and even in a few states, but I wouldn't call it anything close to robust, particularly with respect to all of the electrical and electronic equipment that we have that is generally disposed of in landfills. You think about all the old computers, hard drives, other kinds of equipment that has lots of valuable minerals embedded in it. And what Europe has done is basically adopted what they call the extended producer principle, which basically requires the producer of those materials, of those things, to take them back and recycle the metals that are in them. And if we were able to do that, I think it's a great idea. There's no downside, I think, to requiring that we reclaim the minerals that we've already mined.
Let me interrupt you there.
Sure.
My understanding of the process is still pretty caustic in regards to reclaiming those metals and purifying them. So, but I thank you very much for giving me some better understanding from previous witness. Now, Mr. Nolan, in regards to, I want to talk about the mining process, particularly within the designation of Russia, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, particularly with uranium. Now, anybody that I've seen that has any macho in regards to renewable energy understands you cannot do renewables without uranium. Tell me how this was nearsighted by not keeping them on the critical minerals list.
Uranium is critical to base load power in this country. Combined with coal, it makes up 40% of our electricity generation here. Right now, only 5% of that uranium is coming from domestic sources, and the majority of that is in stockpiles. So we don't have it.
So where does most of the rods come from? Russia, right?
Russia, Kazakhstan,
And Uzbekistan.
and Australia and Canada.
So very, very problematic, because if I'm not mistaken, most of it is in Russia, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan.
That's correct.
So when you're looking at something so critical for baseload power, and I want to make sure we get this right, baseload power is different than temporary power, right?
Pardon the question,
They're
sir?
very different, aren't they?
Very much so.
So baseload power 24/7, you flip the switch and it comes on. If the wind doesn't blow, the sun doesn't shine, we don't have energy on the temporary marketplace. In regards to the permitting process, why is it important that the companies, the mining companies, have work outside the United States? Can you give us a kind of a portfolio breakdown for us and why?
They work outside the United States because there are jurisdictions measured in any CEO or executive or mining exploration geologist can tell you that are more attractive. This country 10 years ago was the #1 destination for capital. We've now fallen to #3. China is literally cleaning our clock. There are jurisdictions in Canada and Australia that can get through the process and stand up mines within 2 to 3 years. As this committee knows, it takes at least 7 to 10 in this country, and that's before you get to litigation, which can add another 1 to 3 years on top of that.
So just to summarize it, you have to have other portfolio aspects to keep your company alive while you're waiting for something in the United States.
That is correct.
Good. So we're going to go to a second round real quick. And so with that, I'm going to recognize the gentleman from Montana for his 5 minutes. No, we go first, and then they go. It's the same process. What's that?